So it's kind of like being aware of things that we're not paying attention to. And I was
What is that for you? What is how did they think?
well in the book club specifically, they were open. They were questioning things, and it was okay for people to express their opinion, and they wouldn't be judged. I mean, I didn't express my opinion because I was just getting into it, and I was just kind of in awe of everything. But they felt comfortable enough to express their opinion, and then people would discuss it, but they didn't like shut them down because they thought something was different.
So it's a safe place.
Yeah, it was a safe place.
Sounds like we need to find more safe places like that for you here in Seattle, huh?
That would be really great if I could find some place, because then I think it would make me be able to sleep and not think about the past, the stuff that I money. My brothers, they went into the military early. One went into the Air Force. One went into the Army. They ended up going to college because they wanted to. When I asked my parents about going to college, they told me there was no money. Well, the military paid for my brothers to go, but heck, there was only one child left at home, and you can't even like help me go to college. They told me I'd have to pay my own way. I would need to get a job. And that's why I got a job initially, and when I was telling my neighbor I was looking for work, but I couldn't save up enough money to go to college. I mean, that's like really pricey.
Yeah.
But my brothers, they went to college, and they were very successful in their careers. One's a social worker now, and the other one is a minister, and they're both married. They have kids. They're doing really great. And when I was at home, that's all I heard. My mom especially. Your brother's this, your brother's that, their wives, their kids. Just constantly talk about them, and it's kind of like, well, what about me? I'm here too. I mean, I was the one that helped my mom when she was sick. My mom was diagnosed with cancer, of breast cancer, and so my dad, he was an alcoholic, and he wasn't, I mean, he was fine when he wasn't drinking, but when he was drinking, he wasn't like a very good person. He was abusive. My mom, when she was diagnosed, he decided to go to AA, and then things changed. Um, he got better. I'll just put it like that.
Okay.
So he wasn't as abusive as he was when he was drinking. But there was nowhere for me to go but to my room. I couldn't like really get away because that's where I lived.
Yeah, and was this when your brothers were at college?
There was some when they were there too.
Okay.
Who knows? Maybe that's why they left. I don't know. But like I said, they catered to my brothers. That's all I would ever hear.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow. And then it sounds like you were, having to do a lot of the work too, like living with, your parents who have like their own issues, and yet they're putting your brothers on a pedestal and not recognizing that you're here dealing with your mom who has cancer,
Right.
which is really scary.
Yeah. So I just did what I could do to not get hit and be yelled at, and tried to be as helpful as I could. So when my favorite uncle got sick, that was really a good reason for me to be gone a lot and kind of be like a supportive caretaker for him. So,
I see.
yeah,
Sounds like you felt safe with your uncle.
yeah.
Can you tell me more about him?
Yeah, he was really. He'd take us to get ice cream and just spend time with us, just being there, talking, and he'd listen to me when I talk about things that I was wanting to do, and if I got upset, I'd talk to him. He knew how his brother was, my dad, but he didn't interfere. He never interfered. I don't know if it would have done any good anyway.
Yeah.
My parents were very religious, raised in church, but everything was different behind closed doors.
Mm-hmm. I see. So it sounds like it was really hard at home, but your uncle was kind of a break from all that.
Yeah. Until I was able to, get that job and make enough money to move out and get my own place. That was really cool.
That's incredible.
Yeah. It was, and so then when they offered early retirement at my job, and I had never used my vacation or sick time. I had tons. I had enough to buy the years that I needed in order to retire. And so I took early retirement.
Wow.
Yeah, it was great. They had this formula that they used. You had to have so many years, and then they gave you some years, and then you had to buy the remainder. And like I said, I had never used any sick leave or vacation time because, a pretty healthy person, and didn't use any vacation because, where was I going to go? By myself. And I just saved it all, and it really added up to quite a bit of money. And it was enough for me, like I said, to buy those years that I didn't have. And so then I was able to retire.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it worked out really nicely.
That's great.
Yeah, so that's why I ended up here, because I wanted to get away from home and do something different and not end up like my brothers or my friends that either got married when they got out of school, or a few went to college or they went into the military, but they still all ended up getting married and having kids, and then that's all they wrote.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean, not that there's anything wrong with that, but that's not what I wanted. I wanted to find out what I wanted to do.
I see. Wow. So it sounds like you had kind of a stressful upbringing, like a stressful family. But then you were able to survive that, and, it sounds like your uncle was something positive in your life. And helping him was something that, like, gave you some strength. And you were able to come out of that and get, like, a great job and retire early, which is, like, that's a huge success. And it sounds like you moved up here to kind of distance yourself from that, because it sounds like there's a lot going on in Florida for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But when you moved up here, like, things didn't turn out like how you thought they would.
Yeah. No, they haven't turned out the way I thought they would at all. So, when we first started this session, you mentioned that you came up here because your friends had talked about it, and you'd seen it on the Travel Channel. And I know we established that you'd like to meet more people here. Do you have any other goals that you would like to do or like to focus on? Well, I mean, my first time leaving Florida was when I came up here, and I know there's a lot of places around. I know it's not far from Canada, and I wouldn't mind going to the mountains. So traveling would be kind of fun to do.
Mm-hmm.
around here, around the state. Maybe go to Canada. Like I said, when you're in Florida, it's like really, really far away. But now it's not that far away, just a matter of hours, and I just kind of want to explore.
Okay. Meeting new people, exploring.
Yeah. Traveling.
Mm-hmm. Are you in contact with your brothers at all?
Not much. I still call my nieces and nephews periodically, and one of them would say, oh, you want to talk to Dad? And, be like, well, and before I have a chance to say no, not really, they go get them, and they'll come to the phone, and they say, oh, hey, how are you? And then I'll start telling them how I'm doing, and next thing you know, the conversation is on them.
Mm.
It's, within a minute, it's all about what's going on with them and what their kids are doing and what their wife is doing and all this stuff. And it's kind of like, wow, I might as well be talking to my mom.
I see.
So I already know how they're doing. I don't need to hear that from them too. So not really. They talk to me, right? I don't really get a chance to talk.
I see. I'm sensing that you need some more recognition for the things you've accomplished, because you've done a lot.
I think I've done some things,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, yeah, being recognized by my parents and my brothers that I'm successful too. Just because I didn't go to college doesn't mean that I'm not successful.
Yeah. Have you talked to them about how you feel?
No, I wouldn't even know where to start. I don't even know if they would hear me.
Yeah. Is that something you'd ever consider working towards?
Maybe. I'm not against it, but I don't feel comfortable trying to do it now.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair.
Okay.
Well, about meeting up next week again?
Sure, that would be great.
Okay. And we can talk about more. I'd like to continue talking about your family and your relationships. And then meeting more people in Seattle. Okay?
Okay.
Sound like a plan?
Yeah.
Awesome. It was nice to meet you today.
Okay, you too. All right.
Cool.
Okay.
All right. I'm a student again.
Okay.
Okay.
So how do you think things went?
It was okay. I wasn't. Yeah, I was like trying to dig. I wasn't quite sure what was going on. I don't know. I had some goal setting going on, but yeah, I mean, you opened up a lot, so that was good.
Why do you think I opened up a lot?
I wasn't saying anything.
Okay, I have to ask you a question first, though. So, have you had any experience working with people?
Mostly kids.
So you have.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So kids like what age range?
Like kids 6 to like 14.
Okay.
Yeah, I do a lot of I work residential, so I work at Weather. So generally, like talking with them, it's more like crisis intervention stuff. Very like in the moment, quick. Like, okay, what's your problem? Like, I default to a lot of problem solving, which I was trying really hard not to do in this session, but I could sense myself kind of going there a lot, which is something I need to work on.
So, tell me, how did it feel working with an adult with having background working with children?
There's a lot more information to take in for sure, and I wasn't sure because there's, the client has a focus, and I wasn't like balancing the client focus with like where I thought they needed, were issues they needed to explore was kind of difficult.
So let me tell you where I'm compassionate, and I'm thinking, okay, so it was obvious you were comfortable. Very obvious to me that you were comfortable and that you were right here in the moment dealing with the situation. So that's why I was thinking, I said, you got training from something because you were like all into this. You don't have any notes. You were repeating back things that I said. It was apparent that you were listening because we talk about something, you get information, then you come back and you repeat it. So you were kind of summarizing throughout. At the end, there was the general summary about what our next steps were, but and then I start talking again. And I was pretty into myself when you first came in. And then I started, like you said, I shared a lot of information. And I shared a lot of information because you were listening. And I could tell you were listening. And again, you were being very empathetic, very sympathetic, which, of course, then, even when you asked about the drinking, so how much are you drinking? And it's the tone of voice. It's not so how much you drinking. It's this empathy and concern, and just like right now, your face. You're like, no, seriously. that person may become attached to you
Yeah.
because of that compassion and empathy that they're expressing, that you're expressing. And so, some point in there, you need to come up with your boundaries
Mm-hmm.
and let that, this is what I'm able to help you with. Because you said, now is that something you want me to do? And then I throw it all on you,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
So, okay, yeah.
Yeah, right. And then,
Uh-huh.
yeah, that enabling thing.
Right.
I don't want to do that. Yeah.
Right. But no, I'm just blown away, honestly, with the way that you handled it. I mean, it was great. When you walked in, I'm like, you don't have no paper in the